Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you probably the last video for now on audiobooks, but I may do some more down the road as well. But I'm going to be talking today about what is it like to narrate your own work for an audiobook. So this is, you've self-published the book and now you're self-narrating, self-publishing the audiobook. If you've watched the other videos in the series about audiobook production, you can already tell that there are a lot of details that go into it, just as many details that go into producing your own paperback or your own ebook. It's a whole nother format, it's a whole nother medium, there's a lot to learn with it. And when I first started considering doing audiobooks, I knew it was something I couldn't do. I didn't have the skill, I didn't have the equipment, I didn't have the technology. There was just so much that I didn't have ready at that time. So when I decided that Nailbiters needed an audiobook, which was about a year ago, I decided that I wanted to make sure I did it right. At the time, I was being interviewed on more podcasts, so I knew I needed to invest in a podcast microphone. It was about $30-something to get my Yeti Snowball mic, and I was like, okay, well that could work. I had the software for video and audio editing for doing the YouTube videos. It all started to come together, but there was so much else that needed to get done. So once I became a full-time author, I was able to spend some time every week working on my audiobook for Nailbiters. Now, some people, when they do their narration for an audiobook, they will just try and knock it out in 1 week. They want it done so they can start editing it. Some people will do all the recording, then do all the editing. What I did is I broke the book up into 3 to 7 page smaller scripts. Now, as I mentioned before, Nailbiters has no chapters, and that was intentional. So what I did was I started with these shortest sections first. I recorded, edited. So a lot of people who do this professionally full-time may have a totally different process and a more efficient process. This worked for me because I was still learning. And I did this reading the shortest sections first to the longest because I figured the shortest sections were going to be the most likely to need to be redone. And if I had to redo something, I wanted it to be a shorter section, not a super long section. So I will say that as I started doing the recording, I was like, this is so fun and exciting. And then I would listen and I heard every little mouth sound. I heard every little bit of like air conditioner buzz. Even right now, I'm sure in this video you can hear my computer, fan is whirring. I could hear that. So it was very frustrating at first to be like, I did this and it sounds so great, and how do I get this background noise out? I definitely learned a lot quickly to make my space more efficient for recording, more conducive to recording. So that was really fun. And overall, when I look at my time, every project I put my time into has to have a return. It has to do something to move the business forward. So beyond just being another revenue stream for me having an audiobook for Nailbiters, I thought, okay, well, this is a skill I'm going to learn. These are learnings I can bring to the YouTube channel, and it's potentially going to be another revenue source for this book. I look at each of my books as their own profit center. So if Nailbiters has an ebook and a paperback and an audiobook, well, it's more likely to return profit to my business than if it just had one version or one format. So that was part of the reason why I decided to do this. It was a great learning experience, so I'm happy to share that with you. And as I mentioned, those first few recording sessions were a little rough. I was very nervous. I was very awkward. I did find that I would read an entire paragraph, and if I messed up one space or the sound just got a little off, or all of a sudden I'm like, well, why does my voice sound like that? I would read the entire paragraph over. So it was taking me much longer to read those 3-page sections than it did for the 7-page sections. And what I realized is I could stop at each clause and then read it clearly. And even when I go back through the editing, sometimes I'll read a sentence 3 or 4 times to get the right sound of it. So when I edit, the entire file might be 45 minutes, and then I edit it down and it's 20 minutes of content. So there was a lot of time spent reading it and editing it. It was time intensive. I did feel that by the time I finished the audiobook that I was in a very good flow of what needed to happen, what needed to get done, how I could make my voice sound better, how I could modify my voice if needed. I did not do accents. I decided that, knowing the limitation of my skill set, I was not going to try and do accents in here and try to be consistent. One of my colleagues who is a professional audiobook narrator now, she knows her stuff with accents. She's a professionally trained actor, and now she does voice acting for audiobooks, and she nails her accent. She does a good job. I was like, I'm not even going to try. I know I'm not at that level. Not going to go there. So this was a fun project. It was very tedious though. So I will say, if this is going to be your first project, self-narrating your audiobook, give yourself patience, give yourself grace, because you're going to mess up, and it's going to happen. So I would make sure that you give yourself the time and the space to do this right. Don't give up after the first few chapters. The first few chapters are going to be rough no matter what. So you want to be able to continue to see it through to the end, to see how you're growing as a narrator as well. I really thought that starting this project, I was going to say, this was a fun experiment, never going to do that again. And I was very set on saying that, but after I finished this, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a new way to reconnect with the characters, especially as I'm working on the next book in the Nailbiters universe. Reading it out loud helped me to remember some of the things that I wanted to put into the next book in that universe. And it was a new way to reconnect with the characters. This was my first book ever that I published. So Dora and all the characters in Nailbiters have a special place in my heart. So it would have felt weird to give that over to somebody else. So getting back to the more technical aspects, I did decide to release the Nailbiters audiobook with ACX and Findaway because I wanted this audiobook to have a wide distribution. So putting them on Findaway was simple. I did get edits back from ACX as I expected, and those were submitted. And now, if you've watched to this point in the video, I'm going to give you a big announcement that the audiobook narrated by me is now available wherever you can get audiobooks. So I'm really excited. I can't wait for you to listen to it and review it. Be honest, not mean though, but I'm really excited for you to check it out. So if you've watched this far in the video, if you comment below with the title of your favorite audiobook, I will send you a code to redeem to get a free copy of the Nailbiters audiobook. I'm so excited for you to be able to listen and get to know the world of Nailbiters and meet Dora. So I hope you found the information in the entire audiobook series helpful, but specifically in this video, if you're getting ready to narrate your first audiobook, I really hope it helps you on that process and that you can be patient and learn the whole process and still enjoy it along the way. If you have found this information helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and be sure to click subscribe below. It will make sure that you get new videos from me every week when I drop new ones about self-publishing, and it also lets YouTube know that this video is providing value to you and can get in front of other authors like us. I'm so excited to share the Nailbiters audiobook with you. Please remember, drop that comment below so you can get a free code to redeem a copy of the audiobook version. Have a great rest of your day, and now you can get back to writing your book.